What's up, my YouTube family? It's good to see y'all. Well, actually, I can't see y'all, but I can see your comments and likes. So, comment and like. You feel me? but it's been a while since we talked. Last time we talked was almost a month ago, and I had told I deleted all my bad music off the channel and whatnot. But we're not really gonna get into that. Um, but I will be addressing day number 2 of my life story, and so how I'm figuring we're gonna do this is for every day video time. Day one video one, day two video two is gonna consist of 2 years of my life. So the in day number one, I know that we had uh, went through when I was in the boys' home. I tried to escape, and that didn't work. I ended up staying a year and a half. My first alcohol overdose was when I was 14, and so now we're gonna be. I'm trying to think about where we're gonna leave off. Okay. So starting off where we left off last time, I had gotten out of the boys' home, and life was good. I moved back to Missouri with my family, and I was working every day. Everything was really good, and I wasn't doing anything. And I told my buddy Trevor, and I was like, hey, I need me a good girl, and because I was lonely and whatnot. But and anyways, him and his girlfriend looked around for a while and found me a girl who we ended up hitting it off, and we, it was just amazing. Like, she was like the best thing that ever happened to me at that point in my life. And so we were together for probably almost 6 or 7 months. Really good time together. And she said, I'm moving back home, which her home is in Oklahoma. So I'm like, okay. And I didn't really, you know, I didn't ask to go with her. She offered, and so I went with her and moved down to Oklahoma, and I got an apartment down there. Everything was good. I had a job. I was working for IBEW. It's an electrician's union, and I was an apprentice. I was going through the stuff to become a lineman or whatever they call it, and I was doing good. I started drinking again as I was down there away from family, and that lasted for a little bit. I started smoking marijuana a lot down there, and about 2 months of being down there, I decided, well, first of all, I ran into this neighbor guy, and he was doing meth. So, me having my past experience with that, I decided it'd be a good idea, and I justified it to do some more meth. And about lost my freaking mind doing whatever that meth was, because that stuff was incredibly bad. I was talking to myself. I was just completely gone, oblivious to the world. And anyways, so as I was high on this methamphetamine, I, you're not thinking clear. You're not thinking or comprehending. You're not using your frontal cortex, to make rational decisions. So I thought it would be a great idea to go in and out of cars, people's cars, and steal things. And that's what I did. And I guess the term is called car hopping. Anyways, um, I did it for a couple nights. I got some really cool things, whatever. It doesn't matter, because one, I was stealing, and two, I got caught. And I went to jail. And the day that I went to jail, the day that I went to jail, um, they had kicked me out of my apartment. Whenever I got out of jail, my girlfriend, luckily I was only in jail for 4 days, but my girlfriend at the time, she had bonded me out. And I think I had like $300, and then she had like $100 or something, and we got me out. But whenever I got out, I went back to my apartment where I was staying, and I had gotten evicted because I was stealing from the parking lot that I was staying at, and that's a no-no. So now here I am, 7 hours away from my home, and I'm now homeless, and I have nowhere to go. I have no way to get to my job. I had an 86 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Um, it was a luxury edition thing, and it had spoke wheels and the white walls. It was like gold shag carpet in there, and I had some shag pillows in the back, and it was pretty good. But I ended up giving it back to the guy I got it from. So, because I don't know why I did that, but anyways, so I lost my job, and I wasn't paying my union fees, so that's another reason I lost my job. So here I am with all my things, and I'm homeless. So I remember sleeping behind gas stations at night, and there was this brick wall. There was this big building. It was kind of weird because the building that was right there was some type of palm reader or something where they do that hippie stuff, whatever it is, and then right on the other side, right next to it was a gas station, a 7-Eleven, and there was this really long uh, alleyway between them, but there was only like 2 foot spacing between those two buildings. So I would go back there, but water ran through there, like because there was like a way for water to run. But there was a couple pallets there on the ground that were real short pallets, and I used those to get me off out of the water, and then I just put my clothes there, and that's how I slept. And it was dead winter when this all happened. So I mean, in Oklahoma, I mean, it was dropping down in the 20s, and I was freezing to death. I had nowhere where I could get warm, and yeah, I still had my girlfriend, but her dad wasn't gonna let me stay with him, and so that's that. So I remember it being so cold, like I couldn't feel my toes. I woke up. I actually got some sleep, but when I woke up, my whole body was completely numb almost. So I grabbed my things. It was like 4 o'clock, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I knew that the McDonald's across the street would be open. So I went over there to the McDonald's and would go to the bathroom and get warm. Now, at the whole time of this, I am getting high and I'm drinking. Any money that I would scrounge up went towards booze, mostly. And I remember everything I just told you. Like, I was sleeping and then I woke up and I went to the McDonald's, and I was counting the money. I was in the bathroom stall, I had my backpack, and I was counting the money that I had, and I think it came up to be like $7. But I forgot to lock the stall door, and these two like 18-year-olds walked in and pushed the door open and seen me counting my money and probably looking like crap, and they started laughing their butts off at me, and I freaked out. This was crazy. I still haven't forgiven myself for this. You know, just because I was so mad at the position that I was in, when they laughed at me, it made me freak out, and I hit one of them right right in the nose, and they ran out and was telling the manager, and I just kind of walked out the store, and I ended up going and hiding just across the street in some shed because I didn't want the cop. I wasn't trying to go to jail. Anyways, a couple hours go by. I see the police. They come and then they leave, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna leave the shed. So I leave the shed and was walking, and let's see, what else? I was calling around places. I ended up finding the what's it called? The Salvation Army, and it's like this place for homeless people to go. So, anyways, there was rules and stuff you had to follow to stay there. You not be drunk, and you had to help clean up after dinner and stuff. And then you had to be out of the building at 6 a.m. every morning to go look for a job. So that's what I would do. I was in the, 6 o'clock in the morning, I'd wake up, eat breakfast that they fed me, and then I'd go look for a job. And I did that until I finally found a job working at this really nice restaurant. And they knew I was homeless. Excuse me. They knew I was homeless, but they still hired me. And so I did that, and I stayed almost at that Salvation Army for like a week. And after that, there's another homeless guy that came there, and his house had burnt down, so he had no place to live. No one would take him in. So, anyways, we kind of hit it off as friends, or whatnot. And one night, he just went missing. Like, he was gone for another week or so, and like he was like my buddy because I had no one else to talk to. And I would still see my girlfriend, in the evenings after she got off work and stuff. But anyways, so I'm walking one day, and I see him, and I'm like, dude, where have you been? Like, I was worried, I thought you went to jail or something. And come to find out, he decided to leave there and go get a motel room. And there was him and this girl, which was a girl, who I wasn't talking to at the time, but at all, because I was with someone else. But we just hit it off as friends. I could really relate to what she'd been through, and so they were there. So I ended up going to the motel room that night and got obliviated. I mean, totally obliviated. I was drinking, I was taking triple C's, and I think there was some crack involved. And so whenever that next morning, I had lost my backpack and everything, but I still had my phone. And whenever I went back to the Salvation Army, they said you can't come back because you didn't show up last night at 11 curfew. So there I was, screwed again because of the decision I made. But I still had my job. Anyway, shortly after that, I found another homeless shelter where I'd stayed for about half a week until my grandpa, I call him King Papa, that's what we called him since we were kids. He would, he came, picked me up in Oklahoma. I left my girlfriend. No, that didn't happen then. Wait. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Yeah, so I went to Hamilton, Missouri, and I stayed there and was trying to get my life back on track. Didn't work out, so I ended up going to rehab again, and in Oklahoma, Tahlequah, Oklahoma, where I stayed a year there, and it was really good. But I ended up getting kicked out because I decided to huff air duster, and they found me, because I was trying to do something that wouldn't show up on a drug test, which is so stupid. Don't ever do that, ever. It'll kill you. They found me passed out on the floor because here's the thing. People think that, especially kids, they're like, oh, if you huff this, it gets you high. No, it doesn't. It does not get you high. It literally cuts oxygen off to your brain, and what you're feeling that you think is a high is you dying. That's all that is. You're suffocating your brain. And actually, inhalants are the only drug that you do, and you can't recover your brain cells, because when they're gone, they're gone. Every other drug there is, you can regain some, but not all. But inhalants, when they're gone, they're gone. They don't come back. They can't heal. So, that being said, my mom heard from the people the rehab I was at, that I had to leave. And my mom told me, I didn't know this till like a week ago, but she said, I just knew in my heart. She's like, I even told Petey, she's like, I just knew in my heart, if we did not find you or get a hold of you, you're going to try to kill yourself. And that was what I was doing. I went to, where'd I go? I went to Dollar General and got 4 boxes of Corticidin, which is high blood pressure, cough and cold medicine. And there's 16 pills in each box, so I took 16 times 4, however much that is. And I chewed them all up. And I went out. Last thing I remember, I was in a truck stop talking to a truck driver. And the next thing I know, I'm handcuffed. When I come back to, I'm handcuffed to a chair inside the truck stop. And I go back out, and then I wake back up again, and they're running with me on a freaking stretcher to an ambulance. And I went out. And then I guess somewhere in the ambulance ride, I was conscious enough to tell them my mom's phone number. They called my mom and told them that I had overdosed, and he's overdosing. And I don't really know exactly what they told her, but needless to say, for almost 2 or 3 days, I was in that hospital, and my mom and stepdad was there. And my sister, everyone came. My grandma, my grandpa, my mom, my stepdad, and my sister. So they all had to see me in that hospital bed, dying, until they figured, they ended up saving me, obviously. They gave me fluids, and I think they gave me charcoal and pumped my stomach or whatnot. But that's just, one of the overdoses that I had. That was a suicide attempt. I used to be a bad cutter growing up. That's just something that nobody knows. Besides my mom, she knows. And I would go so, this is probably TMI, but I didn't know when to stop. There was a couple times I cut myself, and I thought I'd screwed up because I wasn't doing the cutting to kill myself. I was just doing it to feel something, And a couple times I went really deep, and I don't know. I'm not even going to go into that. But let's see. I think what I'm going to do, so this isn't so monotonous, is for the rest of this video, I'm just going to tell you guys every single overdose I've had in the experience of. So, like I said, we got the one when I was 14 on alcohol. That was an accident. That put me in the hospital. The suicide attempt put me in the hospital. I remember right after Dad killed himself, I had taken 9 milligrams of Xanax, 9 of the blue 1 milligrams, and chewed them up and drank about half a fifth of Jaeger. And next thing I know, that wasn't a suicide attempt. I just forgot how many pills I had taken. And anyways, they had to Narcan me to bring me back. I ended up, my girlfriend found me out on the floor, blue in the face because I wasn't breathing. Anyways, they brought me back that time, and many other times. I've been on the verge of, I know one time I had overdosed on meth, and I've had seizures, because of drugs, straight up seizures, and it's miserable. Like, I thought I was gonna die. That was probably the scariest thing I had to go through. I've been in a car wreck. We'll get into the more details later, but I was in a car wreck drinking and driving, and broke my leg, broke my femur. I have a rod from my hip to my knee, broke my nose. I still have to have surgery on my nose to have my sinuses reconstructed because one of them's like shrunken and stuff now. My left hand is pretty much bionic. I only have, that's how high this hand should go, like this, but that's all the farther it goes up. And I'm left-handed, so that's fun. Let's see. I never told my mom this, mainly because I had already put her through so much. So up until now, what she's about to hear, she's never heard before. But I was in Florida. I had just gotten out of jail, and I wanted to drink. I was trying to catch a Greyhound bus back home. Anyways, I drank a whole big bottle of disgusting vodka and about a half a fifth of Jaeger. And I just drank too much. And, it was an accident. But I missed my bus. I ended up blacking out and then woke up in the hospital not even in a room. They had me in the hallway because they just, they don't really care about that stuff whenever that happens. If they know you're going to be okay. I was in a room, they said, but I woke up and my chest was really tight, and I was like, what happened? And they said you overdosed on alcohol and you almost died. So they said they had to use what's it called? I can't remember what that's called. Anyways, the thing where they shock you, because they said that my heart was out of rhythm. So anyways, that they said that got me back to normal. And after that, they just stuck me in the hallway. So I had missed my Greyhound bus when I was supposed to. So my mom knows when I missed that bus. So now she knows why I missed the bus. And I know there's more. I overdosed on Ambien one time. It was bad. I was deathly ill for a day or so because I just couldn't hold anything down. At first, I was puking and I was so dehydrated, like I turned jaundice, my whole body, my eyes, and I've been that way on meth too, jaundice, and I know there's more. Well, I think that's probably just where I'm going to leave off today, and I just want to. The reason I'm going into such detail about this stuff is because not to glorify it, obviously, because there's words of glory in anything I just told you, nowhere. So the reason I'm telling you guys this and is for people who are in the situations, are presently in the situations that I've been in, that they can see the severity of what we are doing and what they are doing and the consequences that could come. Um, so, and y'all just keep hanging with me, bear with me. There is more to come, and I'm kind of ready to get to the good part, like where everything's good, but it's going to take a while to get there. And if you guys have any recommendations on what I need to do or what you guys would like me to talk about, just comment down in the video section below, and I can definitely make that a part of a video or discuss that or anything. And like I say on my Facebook, if you guys know anybody who needs help, anybody who is currently in addiction or struggling with any type of life problem, talk to me. Reach out through Facebook, or I can give you guys my number. If you comment or something, we can start talking about getting whoever needs help. So I love everybody, and I hope everyone has a great evening, and I'll see you next time.